Andy again. Let's talk about WD-40. This is a lifesaver, let's be honest. You can use this as a degreaser. You can't use it as your main lubricant, but as your degreaser, it's perfectly 100% fine. You can spray down your chain and your cassette, let it sit, and then wipe it off, and then put new lubricant on, as in like Finish Line wet lube, which is what we use, or we use the dry lube too sometimes. It just depends what you're doing, but the one I use the most is the wet lube, just because it works for a lot of stuff. But I mean, I use this as my frame protector on my down tubes. If so when I race cross, it would allow it not to gump up as much, I thought, but that's a personal preference. If maybe it was all in my head, I don't know. The one cross race I did, but remind you of that. But yeah, especially coming up here in like March, so mid-March after spring break, all this stuff is gonna melt. Maybe next week when it's 40 here in Iowa. It's gonna melt off all this snow and all this sand and all this salt, and it's gonna get all over your bike if you commute. This is a cheap, inexpensive way to get rid of all that like grit inside your chain. I cut mine. You see this little point right here? I cut mine at a point so it gives it more of a streamline. But I have different bottles. I'll keep one long, I'll keep one short. It just depends. But this one I use specifically to get into like the cassettes and stuff. It just gives it a little more of a streamline effect. But yeah, so like when the salt comes up, this eats salt off of your chain and your frame and everything. It keeps it clear. Then you just put new lubricant on and it's fine. You're gonna spend like $12, $15, you know, on those special spray bottles of degreaser that they say they want to use, which those do work. I do use those sometimes as like they penetrate better. But like if you had a goop of mud all over, that's what I'd use, because that would blast it off. But most of the time, this is gonna work for you. So I go through cans and cans of this stuff, and I buy it by the jugs too to use it. So it's perfectly fine. Use it as a degreaser. Don't use it as your main lubricant. You'll have dust all over, dirt all over. But if you use it as a degreaser and put new lubricant on, it's gonna be fine. Don't worry. So yeah, that's your helpful tip for the day. Also, I'm gonna post this. This is going on YouTube. If you're watching it on Facebook, I linked it there. So go like my YouTube page, subscribe. I'll have more stuff like this. When I get my storefront, maybe sooner, or it's nicer out, we'll show you how to. I'll demonstrate this maybe tomorrow, actually. How about? But yeah, like my YouTube, or subscribe to my YouTube, like my Facebook, everything. Instagram, Twitter, it's all on there. Let me know what you guys want to hear about too. Like, what do you want to know? What do you want to learn? I'll basically teach you anything. I mean, I'm not just going to teach you how to do a flat. I mean, that's pretty simple. But so the advanced stuff, if you want to learn that, I'll show that. It doesn't matter to me. So you guys let me know. I'll do it. Have a good one.